the dribble. Deep two. Yes. Dropped it for the corner.
Bola, three. Good.
Step back three. That's a good shot for three.
Stepping through off the window. Good. Stepping through the raindrops and the finish on the right hand.
And then it's going to Boomers way with back-to-back threes. The Boomers, a WNBL chance.
Round 10 of the Cygnett WNBL continues in Adelaide with a Saturday night clash between two teams desperate to generate some mid-season momentum. Wins have been hard to come by for both the Adelaide Lightning and the Bendigo Spirit, both losing 4 of their past 5 games. But both teams are star-studded, pretty close to full strength, although the Adelaide have got a pretty big out, which we'll touch on in a tick. And it all equates for a lot on the line for a Saturday night clash between these two teams. Hello and welcome to the Adelaide 36ers Arena. Ben Waterworth with you alongside long-time WNBL assistant coach, current NBL 1 coach of the Bendigo Braves, and one of the sharpest minds in Aussie hoops, Mark Alabakov. Mark, great to have your company for this game with two teams just absolutely desperate for a win at this stage of the season.
They really are, and I'm energised to see what the response is from both of the teams. They've obviously rolled in with a losing record in their past 5 games, but that's not a real example of the quality within the two lineups. I think they match up particularly well against one another.
As we turn our attention now to the ladder between across the WNBL, and Adelaide Lightning are 4-9. I think I called 4 Adelaide Lightning games this season, Mark. I think every game I've come in and said Adelaide are not playing like a 4-7, 4-8, 4-9 team. That's the situation of it. Whereas Bendigo are 8-4 and with a big opportunity to try and cement themselves inside that top 4.
Yeah, and they're a tough proposition for teams to play against. So their ladder position, you know, they belong in that top 3 with the likes of the Melbourne Boomers and the Southside Flyers. They lead the league in offensive rebounds, so that comes through Maley and Kelsey Griffin, who averaged roughly 3 between the two of them. They lead the league in points in the paint, second chance points. So they do a great job of playing physically, but then generating a lot of close to basket type of shot attempts.
Let's have a look at how these two teams will line up tonight. There we see the Bendigo Spirit on screen as well, but from an Adelaide Lightning perspective, a bit of a different looking starting 5 for Nat Hurst's side. You will see no Steph Talbot is on that starting 5 tonight. She's not even listed to play. Instead, Brooke Basham's got the call-up. She gets the start along with Borlase, Brooke, Munro and Mansfield. Whittle will be coming off the bench along with Cubillo. So an intriguing call by Coach Nat Hurst.
It really is, and I think the out of Steph Talbot hurts obviously that she's delivering you 14 points a game and 8 rebounds, but the real telling thing is the defensive job that she has the capacity to do on a star like Annalie Maley and being able to curb a little bit of her possession play. I think that's going to be the thing that's missed most. It's going to be important for Adelaide to come in and play confidently, for those role players that will come in off the bench to do what they do best. They attempt the most, or second most, sorry, 3-point shots within the competition. They don't always shoot it at the highest clip, but they've got to roll the dice tonight, and they average the highest amount of bench points, so it certainly lends itself to that being something that they could do tonight.
And we just saw the Bendigo Spirit starting 5 just then. Kelsey Griffin named to play tonight. Still maybe a little bit of an injury cloud on her coming into this game, but the ultimate WNBL warrior will be out there again for another game. So importantly for the Bendigo Spirit, as we mentioned, they've got 8 wins to their name. Adelaide just the 4. They're a team though that have so much potential on paper. They have got a young star in Izzy Borlase in particular, and Borlase at the only yesterday, Mark, was part of that extended squad the Opals named that will be going to a training camp very, very soon ahead of their 2023 campaign. A great reward for 19-year-old Izzy Borlase, who's had a terrific start to her 22/23 WNBL campaign.
Absolutely, and she's been the revelation, I think, within the entirety of the competition. Her ability to come in and play physically, she's got a broad set of shoulders. She's able to bang bodies with the taller and stronger players, who've got years of WNBL experience on her. But she's relentless off the dribble. She competes for possession. She's shown a capacity to be able to hit the 3-point shot, and she's been really, really key to that Lightning lineup this season.
As we have a look at Bendigo as well, Annalie Maley as well is also part of that extended squad. The number 15 there for Bendigo, the reigning MVP. We're actually kind of looking forward to the number 1 and number 2 in the MVP count last year going at it, but as we mentioned off the top, no Steph Talbot tonight for the Adelaide Lightning. There you see Steph in the background in the polo top tonight for the Adelaide Lightning, not starting up. But still plenty of class out there for the Adelaide Lightning, led by Lauren Mansfield, long-time player in the WNBL, and we know that she can catch fire from deep if she gets her tail up. Welcome to the Adelaide 36ers Arena. It's fantastic to have your company wherever you're watching on 9 now as we get this one underway on a Saturday night. It's the Lightning and the Spirit in Adelaide. Hot night, hot day in Adelaide, but it'll be hotter on the court as well. And Munro has been in some hot form of late. That's going to be a big matchup tonight against Alicia Froling as Munro, within the first 16 seconds of the game, draws the contact and will head the line.
She's so long and athletic, and she does a great job of trying to step across your foot when she's trying to go against you in the post. So she gets her shoulders by, and she's got the length to get her shot away unimpeded.
Obviously the WNBA experience with Washington and Seattle, but really made a name for herself right around the world, particularly in Europe, Spain, Czech Republic, Turkey, Puerto Rico, France, Israel, South Korea. Genuinely played everywhere. Throw a dart at a map, and she's probably played there since Munro. That is the first score of the game. Going to the Adelaide Lightning with Munro, 1 of 2 so far. Here's Kelly Wilson. Just another game for Kelly Wilson. Linking up with great mate Griffin. As Bailey goes to work. Griffin, Ali Wilson. Some terrific basketball at the moment, Ali Wilson. Good defense here from Adelaide with 5 to shoot. Kelly Wilson might have to put this up herself. Always hesitant to. Alicia Froling with that left hand. And it gets the first field goal of the night for the Spirit.
He got out of jail. I thought Adelaide did a terrific job of being able to sag in and blow up all of the dribble penetration from the Bendigo Spirit.
Here's Basham getting the start on the floor tonight. What can she do with the Spalding? Good defense here from Bendigo. 5 to shoot for Basham, who has to put it up from beyond the arc. Hits the deck, misses. And that is deemed off Adelaide hands, and Bendigo will get it back from their defensive baseline.
Well, she created a really good advantage off the initial pick and roll. If she looked back to her right-hand side, she had a 2-on-1 with Kelsey Griffin having to guard 2 players. She should have thrown back there earlier.
Maley for Ali Wilson. Some contact as she tried to create there on offense. First foul on the Lightning in this one. So these two teams have already met twice this season. Bendigo already have the series. Bendigo defeating Adelaide 84-75 in Mildura on the 10th of December, and then Bendigo winning 78-66 the 28th of December in Adelaide. Kelly Wilson for Ali Wilson. And almost stolen there by Brooke. Ali Wilson regains control, and Annalie Maley, beautiful stroke. Maley gets her first field goal, the reigning Susie Bakovic medalist. Basham working in tandem with Mansfield. Lauren Mansfield at her best.
She's so smooth and never looks like she's flustered.
This is a wonderful jump shot technique to watch. Hopefully we get to see it plenty more times tonight if you're an Adelaide Lightning fan. Kelly Wilson for Griffin for 3. Didn't look great off the hand. Maley quintessentially on the floor, trying to wrestle it away off the glass. A smile from Alicia Froling and from Lauren Mansfield, who get to their feet now. Get the sense that we're going to be seeing these two teams on the floor quite a fair bit tonight. Two desperate, hard-nut teams.
Absolutely, and Annalie Maley does a terrific job of playing that way. She's relentless for possession. If you're guarding her in her direct matchups, this is where Steph Talbot used to do a really good job, or does a really good job on her when she's fit and healthy to play, is get body contact and keep it early so that it impedes Annalie's ability to go and dive on that ball.
2 to shoot here for Alicia Froling. Again, she's tasked with the responsibility of putting up the shot just before the shot clock runs out, this time nowhere near the ring. The corner, should put that one up. Good follow-up there from Borlays, in some terrific form at the moment. Izzy Borlays, that one didn't go though. Kelly Wilson always looking to try and create. Bailey thought about the 3 in Lauren Mansfield's face. Gets the screen from Froling. Lovely pick and roll action. Froling though lost control. Good pressure on that occasion from Brooke Basham forcing it out of bounds.
Yeah, did a terrific job to come and make a play at the ball. If Froling was able to keep the ball above her shoulders, she would have stayed at about 6'2" or 6'3", whatever she is, and been able to get that finish. Because she brings the ball down below, then it gives the defender a chance to get a piece of it.
That side of the court working wonders for the Spirit. That's their third field goal on that occasion, and Mansfield's giving it away here. Stepped over the baseline just as wanting to bring that ball back in. Immediate turnover. So 14 seconds here for Bendigo to shoot, so they make it a 4-point play as Maley takes her tally to 4. Mansfield, the cut from Borlase, heavily met by Griffin. Borlase, though, kept her feet and put it in for 2.
And that's what I'm talking about, her ability to play through contact.
Froling, though, responds at the other end. So Bendigo, a couple of nice responses to the Adelaide Lightning. They lead early stages 10-6. Ball in the hands of Lauren Mansfield. And try and bring Borlase into the game, and she loves the pull-up mid-range J, and that one drops. Bendigo have been able to respond pretty quickly, though, in recent minutes. Griffin for Ali Wilson, for Kelly Wilson. Goes to work on young Brooke Basham. The hook from Kelly. Didn't quite go in. And a pretty special play if 400-plus gamer had gotten that one to drop. Lauren Mansfield lobbing it in for Munro, and that's just so hard to guard. Count the points. Jacinda Munro will go to the line and try and make it a 3-point play.
Terrific pass there from Mansfield. Was able to wait and take a dribble and allow Munro to gain position and hold that seal there for a second. And she only releases position to go and get possession, gets the finish in the end one.
Pretty strong player underneath the basket, Jacinta Munro, a 66% free throw shooter so far this season. As we mentioned, some pretty good form of late. 23 points against the Lynx just before the new year. 21 points against Townsville, Adelaide's most recent win, and then 11 points against the Flames to go with 8 rebounds. Great drive again from Alicia Froling, who gets that one to go. Start for Froling. Start for the Spirit. Mansfield went with the right hand, didn't get the lucky roll. Whistle on the play. Mansfield roll off that drive. All with the Bendigo Spirit. Try and keep those wins going, Bendigo. Such a hot run of form at the start of the season. The reality checks though in the last month. Abby Wareham steps on the floor and immediately has an impact for the Spirit.
That's a big shot to come in with your first touch and knock that one down. Really difficult to do.
Meg McKay is also on the floor. What a pass from Munro, and what a finish from Borlase.
That's that worldly experience, right? Playing different styles.
And at the other end, again, Bendigo able to quickly respond. McKay ecstatic. She gets the 2 and will head to the line to shoot 1 free throw.
And McKay's one of the best in the country, I think, in being able to catch the ball overhead, ground her feet, find her balance, and then be able to play through any contact and finish at the rim.
Pretty handy when you can have a player like Meg McKay coming off the bench if you're the Bendigo Spirit. And completes the 3-point play. So every challenge that the Lightning are mustering at the moment, the Spirit are responding with, but halfway through this first quarter, it's a sign of things to come for the rest of the game. We're in for a cracker. Here's Marina Whittle, her first minutes of the game. McKay v Munro. Munro, that's a tough shot. Good defense from McKay, but Whittle is there underneath the rack for the offensive rebound and the field goal.
She's another one that is tough to be able to box out and keep off the offensive glass. She's one that you need to make contact with early and stay attached to her body.
Again, Bendigo respond. Ali Wilson with a lovely left-hand finish.
And Ali's playing some of the best basketball of her career.
Right.
So explosive off the dribble.
Some experience in the WNBL. Ali Wilson. Lauren Mansfield goes to work, pulls it up for 3. And a long rebound for Munro. Borlase Looked great off the hand. Ali Wilson had it ripped away from her by Marina Whittle. Another fresh 14 seconds for Adelaide.
Now, other than Perth, Adelaide averages the most, or second most, three-point attempts in the entirety of the competition. So they've had a really good chance to pepper the three-point shot early in this first term. But one thing that's really pleasing is when that shot's gone up, they've had presence on the offensive glass, so they're able to keep that thing alive. Where it's a little bit of a free swing, you know, if you're able to have people compete on the offensive glass, it either has you come up with a basketball or it forces it into a little bit of disrepute, which can help your defensive transition.
Right, have the thoughts of Mark Alabakoff on WNBL coverage. Cabillo on the floor here. Foul is called on Cassidy McLean, who's also just stepped onto the floor for the Bendigo Spirit. Fourth team foul on Bendigo in this quarter. Badish also on the floor for Adelaide. Mansfield kicks it right out. And it drops. Chelsea Brook hitting the three for Adelaide. Reduces the margin back to 2. Here's Griffin, guarded by Brook. Great defense from Brook. McLean, tough shot. Did well to draw the contact. And Mansfield will be disappointed about that. Allows Cassidy McLean to go to the line.
And her past 12 months has been outstanding, Cassidy McLean. So she does a terrific job, does a terrific job of being able to defend on the ball, and she's known for that. But her explosiveness off the dribble, she's been able to layer that back into her game and be a whole lot more fearless off the dribble and being able to get to the rim and play through contact.
No good on the first attempt. No good on the second attempt, but McCabe gets the rebound. Maley can't get the second chance opportunity. Maybe a third chance, though. A couple of opportunities go begging for Bendigo. Can Adelaide make the Spirit pay at the other end? Contact off the ball there. Foul called. Great ball control from Mansfield. Look away pass for Cabillo. Drives hard inside. That'll be another foul against Cassidy McLean. Cabillo tried to drive towards the rack. Just saw the Adelaide Lightning 5-player huddle there. A lot of young guns as part of that. Lauren Mansfield as well leading the charge, but maybe Cabillo at the charity stripe. A pretty good free throw shoot as well, going at 80% so far this season.
She's been playing a whole lot more in recent weeks as well. Yeah, she's been able to win the trust of Coach Nat Hurst.
Oh, block in there from Brook. Chelsea Brook hit a triple at one end and then forces the turnover at the other.
Now, it's hard to stay in front of Abby Werong at the best of times, especially when she's going on her left hand. Brook did a tremendous job of keeping her feet and body away, so she's able to play with her 6'3", 6'4" length, able to block the shot.
That's another foul against Cassidy McLean, who can't quite believe her luck at the moment. She will definitely be coming to the bench to have a sit.
And look, it's unfortunate she picks up 3 early fouls, but in terms of what you want from Cassidy McLean when you sub her into the game, you want that energy on the ball defensively. You want her to be able to give you some really good minutes, just dogging the ball handler with a whole lot of hand pressure, beating her to spots on the floor while you give some substitution relief for Kelly Wilson.
Billo misses the second there as well, so a couple of free throw opportunities from both teams gone begging in this first quarter. 20 apiece. Early tussle between these two sides. Griffin for Maley raising up and gets the lucky roll. Anna Lee goes up to 6. Cabillo, lovely control and the finish as well from Abby Cabillo.
Now, she's best when she plays at 2 tempos.
Yep.
She's got the ability to be quick, and you see that being like her default setting. She'll get it and go at a rate of knots. But if she's able to stop and start or go from fast to stop and then be able to make decisions, it can make her a real handful for the teams to deal with.
Bailey hoping for some help from on the outside here. Werung raising up from the stripe. And then a rebound for Maley, then missed the easy opportunity. The jump ball is forced by the Lightning.
And this is what makes Bendigo a real challenge to defend, because they play, a certain way that tries to get off the dribble into the basket, but then they've got 2 and 3 people competing on the offensive glass, so it's Maley who's tough to deal with. She goes and gets you extra possessions. McKay does the same thing. Griffin does the same thing. Froling can do the same thing. Like, you just don't get the chance to rest on the defensive end and not box out all of the time.
Maley takes a seat for the first time tonight. Sam Simons also onto the floor for the Adelaide Lightning. Ellie and Kelly Wilson back on the floor as well. Here's Whittle. Going to work. She's tough on the inside. Munro raising up, couldn't bring down the offensive rebound. Off to work goes Werung. He pass inside for Froling. She went on her left-hand side though. Kelly Wilson handing off for Ali Wilson, who pulls up for 3. Looked good off the hand but didn't drop. Griffin brings down an O-board.
And this is what I'm talking about, right? So you have a little substitution. Griffin comes in.
Yep.
On the very first possession, keeps the play alive.
And there goes Alicia Froling. Says, I've still got it with my right. Lays it in for 2 and will go to the line.
And teams generally shoot a higher percentage on the second possession, within a play phase offensively. So if they get an offensive rebound, there's a higher rate of being able to put the ball in the hoop from anywhere on the floor in that second 24 seconds.
Strong start from Alicia Froling. She completes the 3-point play. She has 9 points in this first quarter. Less than a minute left in the opening stanza here at Adelaide Arena. Cabillo been running the point for the back end of this first quarter as well for Adelaide. Under the Lightning without Steph Talbot tonight. Whittle. Munro calls for movement behind her. Now Badish tries to feed Whittle. Does feed Whittle, and Whittle good enough to knock down the mid-range too. Froling for Kelly Wilson. Foul called on Munro, who's too pleased with the call. Not pleased at all. Jacinta Munro. And, both teams in the bonus now as well. Munro is heading to the bench. Far from pleased as well, Jacinta Munro with that call. Very emotional.
She's got 3 early fouls now. There's certainly a propensity for the Spirit, like I keep saying, to compete on the O glass. So to have, arguably your tallest player, your main post presence, post defender, rim protector, being 3 fouls and being foul trouble and have to be off the floor, it's a real advantage now for Bendigo to try and gain some ascendancy. Izzy
Borlase also with 2 fouls in this first quarter for Adelaide. So Bendigo with a 3-point lead now. 4-second differential between the 2 clocks. Simons looking for a cut from Whittle. Whittle receives on the inside, fades away and continues. Looked pretty good, like he was going to get the lucky roll, but it didn't fall for it. Werung for Griffin for Ali Wilson. Bendigo been strong on transition tonight. Simons catches, can't hit the 3. Strong finish to the quarter for the Bendigo Spirit. Big first quarter as well from them. 29 Bendigo, Adelaide 24 at Adelaide Arena tonight. Great atmosphere, but both teams in some early foul trouble. Mark Alabakov, as we look at some of key stats and highlights from that opening quarter.
Well, you've got Annalie Maley on 2 offensive rebounds, Kelsey Griffin on 2 offensive rebounds, Megan McKay on 1. as a team, they've got 5. Now, generally speaking, there's a rule of thumb that most coaches would want to keep teams to 10 or less for the entirety of the game. They've got 5 for a quarter already, which is a massive advantage because it gets them extra chances to score. Now, the other thing that's particularly notable is the quick reaction time. They're playing quick at the point of turnover from the Adelaide Lightning, and they're flying down the floor and being able to get a stack of fast break points. They've got 9 in the quarter, and that's been able to push the game out into their favour.
Bendigo going at 57% from the field as well, compared to the Adelaide Lightning's 40%. Yeah, just making some good decisions at the moment. The Adelaide, the Bendigo Spirit, and you mentioned it a couple of times throughout that first quarter as well. The depth of this Bendigo lineup is, can cause headaches for a lot of rival teams in the WNBL. You think you've been let off the hook a little bit, then on steps Kelsey Griffin or on steps Abby Werung to keep the tempo up. We haven't seen Tessa Lavey yet either. Meg McKay's had a couple of nice plays as well. They bat deep, this Bendigo side. They really do, and you've got. I keep going back to the physicality of the post play. That's really the bread and butter for the Bendigo Spirit for mine. It's relentless. You've got Maley, you've got Griffin, you've got McKay, you've got even Froling. Yep.
It's a 4-headed monster that just continues to keep the ball alive on the offensive end, get second chance points. There's a reason why they're really high in the competition with points in the paint and second chance points. It's a tough proposition to keep all of them quiet, all of them off the offensive glass for 4 entire quarters, let alone when your primary rim protector, Jacinta Munro's got 3 fouls and she's on the bench.
4-headed monster. We can work with that, Mark. Let's work on that. Froling, Maley, Griffin and McKay. 29-24 lead for the Bendigo Spirit at Adelaide Arena. Second quarter underway. Both these two teams desperate for a win. Struggling to rack up the victories in the past few weeks. Meet tonight. Griffin to Froling. He's already got 11 points, and she will go to the line and try and make it 13.
A tough move there. Was able to get into the armpit of Ella Badish. So when you've got a player that steps off and gives you a little bit of space, you want to close down that space as a post player, get into the armpit here and be able to draw the foul. You play through it.
Adelaide having a pretty good look at their bench players as well at the start of this quarter, remembering that Munro already on 3 fouls, as Mark just mentioned, and Borlase already has 2 as well, and without Steph Talbot tonight. Stretched early, the Adelaide Lightning. Here's Cabillo, who's had a couple of terrific plays in that opening stanza. What about the 3? To Badish on the inside instead. Brooke already hit a beautiful triple. Works her way inside and can't float it in. Whittle, though, has been strong off the offensive glass early, and Simons gets the lucky roll.
And I like that. You've got Brooke and even Simons in that possession, who are known 3-point shooters, both making plays off the dribble.
Froling really causing some headaches down low for Adelaide as Badish is called for the foul. It's a pretty good form of late as well. Alicia Froling. Here's Kelly Wilson for Ali Wilson. Froling again. In the low post. Lovely footwork, but can't get that right-hand finish to go. Averaging the 11 points per game. Alicia Froling as Cabillo pulls the trigger. And Maley, essentially up high, brings down the rebound.
And this is the quick transitions.
Has killed Adelaide early stages of this game. Kelly Wilson for Ali Wilson. Lovely pick and roll action, but foul was called before Froling could receive. Wide open as well, heading towards the basket. And it's on Alicia Froling, a big game against the Caps recently, even though in a losing cause, the Caps. She scored 16 points for the Bendigo Spirit as a timeout is called at Adelaide Arena. And this timeout is brought to you by CTM Sport. If you're considering travelling interstate with your basketball team, consider CTM Sport for a competitive, innovative and customised travel solution that puts your team on top. Visit ctmsport.com.au to learn more. Still get the sense that both teams are kind of feeling each other out a little bit early here, Mark?
They really are. I mean, I'd be more concerned with the Adelaide Lightning. You've got Talbot obviously missing, and she's such a key part of what you do. But now, with that foul just then, Ella Badish has also got 3 fouls.
Yeah.
So you've got 2 post players that are in your rotation, both in foul trouble. You know, do you roll the dice? It's very, very early in the second quarter. Do you roll the dice that they pick up a 4th, or do you essentially foul them out and keep them on the bench? I mean, these are the tough decisions that you need to make as a coach, because the damage that Bendigo does inside and with possession play, you need some level of like-for-like size out there to be able to compete.
We've had Jacinta Munro back on the floor as well. It'll be fascinating to see how the 4-headed monster goes on the inside in terms of do they try and expose her close to the rack?
Well, absolutely they will. You know, if they roll her back out, they'd absolutely want to go at her, one, to put her in position to foul, but then, you know, also if she's going to be risk adverse, she's not going to contest things with the same level of urgency, perhaps, when she's already in foul trouble.
Nice breakaway there from Ali Wilson to Alicia Froling, who couldn't get that one to go. It was a terrific build-up to that shot attempt. Didn't fall. Borlay's back on the floor, pulls up for another mid-ranger. Can't get it to go. Rebound for Annalie Maley. She's up to 5. Froling finally gets it to go. She's got 14 points.
And this is where you can't rest, right? So the change of possession within 4 to 5 seconds, the ball's down the floor. It's at the tip of the rim with Froling. She misses the first attempt, gets her own rebound and puts it in.
Mansfield can't hit that one. Another board for Maley. She might go all the way herself here. She pulls up for the mid-range. Comes out.
Probably want to pull the ball up there. All the defenders were ahead of the ball.
Borlay's. Rinse and repeat. Borlay's misses. Maley rebounds, but she won't take the ball up the floor herself. Griffin and Kelly Wilson both yet to hit the scoreboard for Bendigo. Not that it's really mattered too much. Getting the job done. Annalie Maley flat off the hand. Kelsey Griffin will be called for the foul. That is her first personal foul of the game.
Now, it's a good pickup by you that Kelsey's yet to score, so I wonder whether she's carrying an injury that's come from the previous game. Now, I say that because the thing that I'm picking up, and you can watch for this, every time she catches the ball and goes into her right-hand drive, her shoulders aren't facing the rim. So she's driving as in that's the next part of the offense rather than driving the score.
Great to have the thoughts of Mark Alabakoff. WNBL coverage tonight. Spirit up 32 to 26. Borlay's for Whittle. I think wasn't open on that occasion for Marina. Ali Wilson inside for Froling, who's causing all kinds of problems. Continues on her merry scoring way.
And you're at risk of this thing getting ugly. I think, you know, Bendigo's playing really confidently, really assertively. I don't love the offensive execution here in the half court from Adelaide. I think some of their shot selection hasn't been great. It's probably time, you know, if they cop a score on this possession here, for Coach Nathurst to call a timeout.
They might score themselves, though. Nice trap there from Borlay's on the turnover. Wants Whittle. Good defense from Kelly Wilson to force the Lightning to retreat. Mansfield lobs it in for Brooke, who draws the contact and will head to the line. Chelsea Brooke getting more opportunities as this season has progressed.
She's done well with it in being a threat. I mean, we know that she's a pick and pop three-point shooter. On that last possession, you could see her in a little bit of indecision. There was the default setting to want to pop and shoot the three, but then seeing all the space and an unimpeded run to the basket where, you know, she was backing up to go to the three-point line, saw the opening at the hoop, and then rolled to the basket a little bit later. They were able to hit her, and she gets on the free throw line.
Brooke misses for the Lightning. Werra. Hit, but Griffin brings down an offensive rebound. Can she hit the scoreboard here? She can't. Strong rebound there from Ali Wilson, but she lost control. Good signs, though, there from Kelsey Griffin off that offensive rebound.
Yeah, good to see her being a threat. Because the thing is, she demands a lot of attention, so all of the eyes of the defenders go to her, and that's what allows Ali Wilson to slip underneath Marina Whittle and get on the offensive rebound.
Just saw Chelsea Brook at the free throw line just before game number 101 for Chelsea Brook in the WNBL. Still just 24 years of age. Here's Basham with authority, with confidence from the young gun. Drops in the floater.
I like seeing her get a chance to play more. I think that she does a really good job of being an offensive threat.
This time on the quick transition, Adelaide forced a turnover. Basham puts the brakes on. But the ball in dangerous hands here. Whittle's been looking really lively all night. Doesn't get the lucky roll on that occasion. Maley brings down her 8th rebound.
Just want Whittle sometimes to go to the basket with stuff. She generally has a propensity to fade away, and I know that helps her get her balance, but then you're out of offensive rebounding position, and then you're not going to get a foul call either.
McKay goes in and puts in the 2 for Bendigo, so just regaining a little bit of control, Bendigo, after Adelaide pushed on the scoreboard. Halfway through this second quarter now. Mansfield. Basham, 4 to shoot, has to put it up now. Whittle, looked good off the hand, in and out. Good defense from Bendigo to force a rushed shot in the end. Werrung sees an opening and then is knocked away there by Marina Whittle.
I still think the execution for Adelaide is lacking. The ball didn't move as quick as it could across into their actions in the half court just then. I don't think that they did a great job of getting in the road of defenders to dislodge a defender, whether it was in an on-ball or for a staggered screen for somebody coming off. There wasn't anything that created a time and space advantage, and then it's tough to play that way when you're late in the shot clock and everybody's matched up.
Timeout is brought to you by Cygnett here in our WNBL coverage. To stay connected with the latest WNBL news and social highlights, keep your favourite tech charged up at home or on the go with Cygnett's extensive range of charging products and digital accessories. A big thanks to Cygnett for powering the WNBL with high-quality tech this season. For more information and to explore their very wide range, head to cygnett.com. Handy break here for Bendigo. The points really flowed in that first quarter. It was 29-24 Bendigo at quarter time, but just the 5 points for Adelaide this quarter and just the 7 for Bendigo. We still haven't seen Jacinta Munro, the star centre, in this second quarter at all with the 3 fouls. Banish also with 3 fouls for Adelaide, and McLean with 3 fouls in 76 seconds for the Bendigo Spirit.
Didn't waste any time.
No. Making an impact off the bench. Alicia Froling has been the standout on the stat sheet early. 16 points for her. Here's Werrung. And laid in by Ali Wilson, who continues her terrific season.
Because she's a threat from the three-point line, you've got to close her out long and give her some respect. And she's able to beat you off the dribble, especially going to her left hand.
Whittle with a good look from the corner. That one doesn't drop, though. And the Spirit have got this out to a 9-point lead at the moment, and they'll get the ball back at their defensive end of the floor. Great to have your company wherever you're watching some Cygnett WNBL action on a Saturday night. 2 stacked rosters, Adelaide Lightning and the Bendigo Spirit. Bendigo seen as one of the championship contenders this season. Just been out of form a little bit recently, but Meg McKay playing them back into form as Bendigo take a double-digit lead away from their home floor.
A tremendous job of holding her seal too. You've got that 3 seconds in the key that you're able to stay and hold your position.
Missed there by Mansfield, but rebounded by Brook and stolen by Kelly Wilson. And Ali Wilson says thanks very much. Timeout is called by Nat Hurst with her team down by 13 points, and this one slowly slipping away and Bendigo flexing their muscle.
And it turns really quickly when a lot of the damage that Bendigo is doing is early in the shot clock. So on the turnover of possession, it's kick aheads, it's post seals, and someone will go off the bounce and then be able to lob the ball to a post who's holding their position and only releases that position to go and get possession of it to be able to finish. But then it's late in the shot clock as well, so if they can't get you there early, it's the relentless persistence for possession that forces you to have to play every phase of the shot clock, and it's incredibly fatiguing.
Do you pull the trigger on Munro coming back onto the floor now, Mark?
Oh, I mean, look, you get a chance to roll the dice as it starts to push out to this double-digit lead. You've probably got to consider it, or you need to change something defensively. One thing, if you do go small ball, it gives you a chance to exert a whole lot more pressure up the floor. So if they aren't going to go with, you know, either a Munro or a Badish on the floor, they've got to climb in for 94 feet. They've got to be up and in on everything, deny wing catches. They have to be uber disruptive on the defensive end if they're going to go with a smaller lineup.
Yeah, it looks like Munro will continue to sit. Izzy Borlase on screen, one of 24 players named in an extended Opal squad on Friday. Great recognition for a terrific start to her Cygnett WNBL season. Can Mansfield catch fire for Adelaide? Sweeps it out, almost a travel there by Badish, who is back on the floor with 3 fouls to her name. Applies the screen there. That's a tough shot from Basham. Whittle raising up over the top. Emily Maley brings it away from her. And Maley's a good look for 3, but instead lobs it in for McKay. Perfectly executed lob, and McKay rewards Maley's pass with the 2.
Outstanding pass and another great seal. I love seeing that in Annalie Maley's game. We know that she's got the ability to score, but if she's able to facilitate and get others the ball and make the right basketball play, it makes her all the more dangerous to have to defend.
And a few more of them from Izzy Borlase to the Adelaide Lightning. They break a run there. Borlase returns to the scoreboard. She's up to 8 points, team high for the Adelaide Lightning, as that one is thrown away by the Bendigo Spirit. A rare blemish from them. Hasn't been too many turnovers at all in this game. Just 3 turnovers to Bendigo and 2 for Adelaide. The team's taking pretty good care of the basketball. This Borlase gets the screen from Badish. A lot of movement up ahead though for Borlase. And she turns it over. Great defense from Werung. With no room to move. Bendigo make her pay at the other end, although they've had a miscommunication on offense from the Spirit, and Werung throws it away.
Saw a ghost.
Yes. I wanted to give the fan in first row value for money, as we see Kelsey Griffin and Alicia Froling both check back in.
But I talk about wanting Adelaide to be a little bit more disruptive defensively. Everything that I'm saying you would want from them, the Bendigo Spirit are delivering. So you can hear calls from the bench, get up and in. They're climbing in and trying to put a whole lot of pressure on the ball wherever it is and whoever has it, even if it's at risk of fouling like that. And then they're icing the pick and roll. So what that means is when the ball's on the side of the floor, they're jumping in the road and not allowing the guard to use it to get to the middle of the floor. And so far, Adelaide hasn't had any solutions to that. And this is, you know, an opportunity for Coach Nat Hurst to be able to provide that, you know, either verbally in game or potentially out of a timeout.
Important 2 minutes here for Adelaide. Kelsey Griffin, best stealers in the competition, almost added another stat to her line. Mansfield, lovely look away pass, and didn't quite come off a Badish, who had a good look for 3. Haley brings down another rebound. It's board number 10 for Annalie. Here's Griffin for Kelly Wilson, swinging it around the perimeter here. Ali Wilson for 3. She's got 13 points and 5 assists.
And she shoots that 3 from a step behind the three-point line, almost like it's a layup.
Just not dropping for Adelaide, and for Lauren Mansfield, she's 1 of 4 from deep. Lauren Mansfield. But it's all going for Bendigo at the moment. Another offensive rebound for Maley. That was almost too easy off the offensive glass. Makes it an 18-point lead for Bendigo.
Well, the concerning thing is we've still got a minute left in this quarter, and it looks like Adelaide stopped competing. On that last possession, you know, the ball gets shot and nobody moves. Nobody goes to pursue it.
Mansfield, though, shows great determination there. Kelsey Griffin comes in with a cheeky hand, sends it over the line. In this situation, Mark, is probably when you want Steph Talbot out on the floor.
I think absolutely, and you always want Steph Talbot.
Of course.
But absolutely, you want a competitiveness, a resolve from your group to continue to battle. And you can do that for position on the floor, possession of the basketball. I mean, the teams that have beaten the Bendigo Spirit in the past couple of games have all had that as a core tenet of the way that they've been able to put 4 quarters together.
Final minute of this first half, almost pinched there by Borlase. Instead, it ends up with KG 23 for 3.
Great ball movement and exceptional floor spacing.
Griffin enters the scorer's book tonight, and Bendigo have a 21-point lead. We've still got 30 seconds left in this first half. 23-7 in this second quarter alone in favour of the Spirit. You almost hear a pin drop at Adelaide Arena right now. And that won't help the situation.
Yeah, just a little out of sync, and Lauren Mansfield collapsed in the spacing, so she wasn't outside the 3-point line to stretch Kelly Wilson away. So where she's broken within that and she's inside the 3-point line, keeps the defender close. Now Brooke Basham can't go on her right hand with the same level of pace that she would want to because there's a defender in the road.
Important to note as well that tonight is part of the inaugural Pride Round games for the Adelaide Lightning, the only team in the WNBL to hold a Pride Round this season. Adelaide proud to be supporting the LGBTIQA+ community both on and off the court. Marina Whittle really driving the initiative as well. She's a Queer Sporting Alliance ambassador. They're doing some great work there, and they're wearing this special jerseys tonight as well, the Adelaide Lightning, which look absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, they've done a really good job with that whole cause. And if I recall correctly, Adelaide has had that in previous years as well. I can vividly remember a Pride jersey that Nicole Seacamp, for some reason, she's the player that I picture wearing it, back from a couple of years ago. So it's been a long-standing trend of Adelaide to, acknowledge that community.
There is Marina Whittle there as well. She played a lot of minutes as well, coming off the bench tonight. 2 of 8 from the field, 4 points and 4 rebounds for Whittle, who had time with the Bendigo Spirit and the Perth Lynx. Here's Kelly Wilson, no shot clock left. They got one final big play coming up here, Bendigo. Kelly wants to pass it off. She does for Ali Wilson, who's shooting from the car park. Can't get it to go. Brooke puts it up. Ali Wilson gets a hand in there, and that is one heck of a statement in the first half by the Bendigo Spirit. They head into the sheds at half-time with a 52-31 lead off an emphatic second quarter where they scored 23 points to 7, and they have shut this Adelaide home crowd right up, Mark. Darn impressive first half from Bendigo.
It's been incredible, and I think, I mentioned before, all of the damage has been done reaction time, so the pace of play early in the possession, so they've been able to get out and get some quick scores. They've got 11 fast break points, which is a big part of that margin, and then it's been late in possession, and I've made a big deal, obviously, of the second chance points that they've been able to create. They've got 9 of them. They've got 9 offensive rebounds coming from multiple sources. It's a really relentless approach to this first half from the Bendigo Spirit.
Terrific start to this game by Bendigo, but 10 minutes, in fact 20 minutes is a long time in basketball. Can Adelaide mount a bit of a comeback in this second half?
D-Trans has got to be a little bit better from both teams.
Lays from the corner, she knocks it down. Talbot for Whistle, fading away. That's a terrific night for the Adelaide Lightning.
Gives it to Atwell, kicks it back out to Scherf to get her scoring underway. Back to Atwell, who then gives it to Scherf, who steps out for three from the corner. Back into Scherf, has to work against Froling. That is a great shot. Now she's warming up. To Scherf, not another three. Oh my God!
As the game clock for the quarter to end wound down.
Two with the ball right now as we see a steal from Maddie Rocci.
Rocci causing trouble straight to the rack. Rocci, can she launch into an offensive? Conti, triple. Here is Carly Ernst.
On cue.
And it goes. It's the Flyers by 46 points here.
Oh, wow.
Talk about bullying.
What a heads-up play from Christy Wallace. She inbounds it off the back of Maddie Rocci, gets it back, makes the two. Now to Blitzarves for another three. He's feeling it tonight. Blitzarves. Why not? When it's your night, it's your night. Pop over the top to Blitzarves. He's been lights out tonight. So that top four is going to be highly competitive. First to get there, Blitzarves with 40.
This is our vow to you.
What's coming down the aisle?
We'll send Australia
I look like the girl next door.
wild.
I'm actually a little freak in the sheets.
The phenomenon of love is bigger
You're a lucky man.
than ever.
She's not doing too badly herself.
New Married at First Sight, Monday, Jan 30 on 9.
Gossip Girl here, your one and only source into the scandalous lives of Manhattan's elite. XOXO Gossip Girl.
Get your summer streaming on 9 now.
Do not underestimate the power of a good blind. Take this exhausted couch. Now it stands before you. Magnifique. Even this cocktail of dead skin is gracefully waltzing. Da 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 da. DIY blinds. Change the ugly.
For 2 decades, 3 kings have ruled Melbourne.
True legends of the sport.
This summer, it's anyone's. Get ready
Expect the unexpected.
for the Open that's wide open.
Incredible stuff.
The greatest epic ever starts Monday, live and free on 9 and 9 now. It's the biggest WNBL season yet, and superstar Lauren Jackson returns. Turn it up. Don't miss a block, basket, or game winner.
Just not steal the win.
WNBL, live on 9 now.
Hi Hoopers, I'm Tess Madgen. I'm so excited to be offering virtual masterclasses this school holidays with She Hoops. Starting on the 9th of January at 5:30 p.m. every Monday night. In this 5-week series, we will be delivering a range of basketball skills. I will also take you through a number of mobility skills designed to keep your body active and engaged. And the best part is that it's free. Go to shehoops.com.au to register now and secure your spot.
Expect the unexpected.
It's summer's greatest show.
Best point of the match.
And he is the greatest showman.
Top shelf from Kyrgios. What an athlete. What a play. Just electric.
King Nick leads the Aussie assault.
This one is for country.
Ladies and gentlemen, take your seats.
Australia, it's time for a brand new day.
2023 is the start of a new era, but some things won't change a bit.
We still have the best news team in the business.
In breaking news this morning,
Heated debate is firing up.
The emotion from this man.
And you'll still wake up with Australia's best breakfast.
2023, a very big year. Don't forget, 5:30 sharp.
No worries.
So the Today Show with Sarah and that's my chair.
We're shaking things up, Carl.
Wake up to a brand new day. Monday on 9.
Looking for something to keep the kids entertained these school holidays?
Listen to the roar of that crowd.
Come and watch Australia's elite female basketballers in action as they battle it out for championship glory in the Cygnett WNBL.
Good.
That's a good shot.
Tickets available now. To book your seat, visit wnbl.basketbol.
The great champion. He's a rare phenomenon.
Who is the greatest tennis player of all time?
Federer or Nadal?
I wonder what the 100 thinks.
You have Australia's support.
So, baby, in 90 days, we're going to be husband and wife.
I was with her for 5 days, and then I proposed to her.
She's so eager to be in love, she lets red flags just go.
People say 19-year-old, she's just using you. Maybe she could be.
90 Day Fiancé. Get your summer streaming on 9 now.
quarter by any team so far this season. Perth had 7 points in the first quarter a couple of weeks ago against Southside, but still ended up winning that game. But early signs not great for Nat Hurst and the Lightning. Can they make a comeback in this second half? We are about to find out. Ben Waterworth with you alongside long-time WNBL assistant coach, current NBL 1 coach of the Bendigo Braves, Mark Alabakov. How can Adelaide get back into this contest, Mark, as we get this third quarter underway?
Well, first and foremost, it's got to be standards, and it's more qualitative. I want to see more fight and more competitiveness. Sheely from the Lightning, and that can be defensive pressure, that can be modes of disruption. So do they roll the dice a little bit with some different defenses? Can they box out all of the time, knowing that you don't get a chance to rest? All of these things, they add up over the course of the game, and I need to see more competitive spirit out of the Lightning this half.
Adelaide also one of the worst second quarter teams in the WNBL. Munro steps back onto the floor. She didn't play any minutes in the second quarter because she's on 3 fouls. Gets to start the third and immediately makes an impact with a mid-range 2, gets the margin under 20 points. Here's Kelly Wilson, guarded by Borlays for Griffin, for Ali Wilson, who had a terrific first half. Kelsey Griffin pulls the trigger and knocks down the triple. Second three-pointer for KG. The immediate response. It's been the story of the night. Adelaide just been not able to gather any momentum on offense at all. Brooke splashes it down.
And that advantage is created off the dribble penetration. So where you're able to take a little bit of a stand, be prepared to play for with some physicality to get the shots that you want, you can create advantages like that for Brooke.
Ali Wilson misses, but Alicia Froling gives them a fresh 14 seconds, and Griffin driving through. And Maley played that well, waited for that opportunity to float it in. Get one back for Bendigo. They're having a terrifically efficient night, Bendigo. They're going at 53% from the field compared to the Lightning's 32%. Basham. Idea was right. Just couldn't quite execute with the left hand. Kelly Wilson, the top players this season for assists. Alicia Froling loses control. She tried to drive her inside. Master v Apprentice, and Apprentice almost won that one as Borlays took on Kelly Wilson. Now Wilson brings it down the other end of the floor. Maley with a good look for 3, thought about popping it up. Instead, they reassess.
They're forcing Adelaide to have to defend more actions, which is fatiguing in itself.
Foul called on the play. Holding a 57-36 advantage. Reminder that Munro already has 3 fouls. So Battish for the Adelaide Lightning, and McLean has 3 fouls for the Bendigo Spirit.
I think you've got to roll the dice with Munro. You've got to play to win right now.
Yep. Fresh 14 now for Bendigo to work with. She's not backing down, Munro. She was really close checking there on Froling. And Griffin continues her hot form from beyond the arc. She's starting to feel it. It's ominous signs for Adelaide if KG gets going in this second half. Munro v Froling. Offensive foul on Munro. She's got 4 to her name now. Everything going Bendigo's way.
That was a bit unlucky. I thought that she had some contact from Kelsey Griffin before the contact. No, I was incorrect.
Froling hit the deck. And Jacinta Munro not happy at all. She's being forced to be separated there from teammates from the referees. Second time that she's had words with the refs as well. She takes a seat.
A really good job by Froling to be able to get the middle of her body in the road of Jacinta Munro. Now, it can be argued that she took the contact and played it up a little bit, but you've got to be able to do those things and roll the dice, because now she picks up her 4th foul and she's out of the ball game. And then the worst that can happen, if you take the contact and you don't go to ground, Munro can gather her feet and then go up a second time with a little step to the middle perhaps. So you've got to step in front and then be able to not only wear contact, but take the fall at the same time. It's a great strategic move there from Froling.
tech foul as well against Munro because they had the free throw. She's livid on the bench at the moment. Jacinta Munro. Big blow for Adelaide. Rolling, almost travelled. Goes in though for Bendigo. Everything is going the Spirit's way. This lead is ballooning out. Mansfield shows some aggression and drives hard inside and earns 2 free throws.
Now she does, but you've got to also interpret that, like, that's not a play. That's her trying to take control of the ball game, so that sits outside of the breadth of their offense and perhaps their flow. That's unpredictable to the 4 other Lightning teammates. So if she doesn't score, doesn't get on the free throw line there, that probably turns into a layup back the other way. You've got to resist or have a bit of impulse control sometimes to be able to get the quality shot that you want. Still push in transition if you have the opportunity to, but wheel it out and get everybody on the same page if there's no advantage created.
Mansfield hits 1 of 2 free throws. Does Bendigo go to work on offense? Griffin, Ali Wilson all by herself in the corner. They are in hot form tonight, Bendigo.
And the gravity that Frolling's created for herself as a screener and roller to the basket, she pulled 3 defenders to her, and that's what allowed the skip pass to go to the wide open Ali Wilson for the 3.
Ball lays well off target. Ali Wilson, Froling screaming for it. A big night she's had so far. Griffin for Kelly Wilson, for Griffin again. Whittle is called for the foul.
And you'll live with that, so that's a great adjustment by Marina Whittle. So obviously KG's come in and hit a couple of 3-point shots here in this quarter. She's always a threat to be able to knock that one down. So you've got to go and play a little tighter. This is a defensive adjustment from, or a response I should say, from the Lightning that you're looking for.
Kelsey looking to bring her teammates into the game at every single opportunity tonight. It's a real joy to watch. Here's Ali Wilson for Maley. Thought about the 3, quickly guarded by Whittle. Griffin instead pulls the trigger. No foul is called as she hit the deck. She misses that shot just before the shot clock ran out. Mansfield calls for movement. Responsibility on her shoulders now. Talbot tonight, Munro. Been fouled out of the game. After just 10 minutes as well, just into Munro.
Now, I think this foul from KG is reactive, so she's a little bit frustrated from the last possession. That's where I think the officials need to protect the shooter. I thought she got fouled on the last possession. Yep. Also, KG's probably got to have some impulse control to, not reach in and get a foul call there unnecessarily, but you've got to protect the offensive player all the time. They've got to have space to land in.
Mansfield loses control. Ball lays, almost travelled herself, and then ran out of time. Shot clock violation. Bendigo really regaining some form and some momentum in their season tonight.
Now here's a stat for you. So you take that last shot attempt from near half court as the quality of shot on the last possession that the Lightning were able to create for themselves late in the shot clock. They had to just hoist something up. The Bendigo Spirit, because of the way they're playing in reaction time, quick in transition, and all of the stuff late in the possessions, they've got 38 points in the paint. They've got more scores in the key area than the Lightning have altogether. Correct.
Good nugget, Mark Alabakov. Great to have his thoughts. WNBL coverage. Maley denied. That's a nice little confidence booster. Izzy Borlays straight up in the cylinder, swats it away. Adelaide get the ball back as well, but you can see Bendigo showing no mercy. Pressing hard up on defense there. Borlays guarded very closely here by Werung. Badish, they are relentless on defense here. Whittle, quick release. All net on that attempt. Hard-earned 2 from the Adelaide Lightning. McKay just decided to have a shot in the end. Nothing, no real movement, so she put it up and knocked it down. 29-point lead for the Bendigo Spirit. Here's Borlays. Double teamed here by Bendigo. Mansfield somewhat open for three. Whittle brings down the offensive rebound and draws the foul.
A good job by Whittle to get on the O glass, but the execution in the half court there from the Lightning, it's all a metre outside the three-point line. Ella Badish comes to get involved in the action on the side there with Borlays, but then has 2 to 3 cracks at setting a pick to try and dislodge the defender and doesn't make any contact whatsoever. So all you're doing is bringing another defender into that area. There's clock on that shot clock that's just milking away. It becomes really, really hard if you play that way. You've got to come in, sprint, set your screen, be disruptive and try to trap a foot of a defender and then separate, whether that's popping to the three-point line or rolling to the basket. You know, this is the take a stand response that I'd be looking for if I'm Coach Matt Hurst.
WNBL game number 88 for Marina Whittle, her 3rd season with Adelaide. As I mentioned before, also played with Bendigo, Perth and Townsville, although spent a lot of time on the sidelines with Townsville due to injury. Nice little confidence booster there for Adelaide. And immediately Abby Cubillo comes on the court, changes the vibe out on there. Almost had it picked away there by Kelly Wilson. Cubillo calls some movement. She reignite the Lightning here. Pick almost came off. Immediately she's trying to have an impact.
And again, I steered back to the discussion around qualitatively, what are we seeing? Abby Cubillo comes in and she's playing to win. So the past 2 possessions, she tries to climb into the space of Kelly Wilson. Here she makes a pass, and as soon as the ball's left her fingertips, she's on her cut, trying to create, makes contact, still makes the right basketball play. She's doing exactly what the Adelaide Lightning would need. They need a response here.
Griffin checks back in. Froling has a rest. Points. Sorry, I take that back. 1 field goal for Alicia Froling so far in this quarter. She's got 18 points, a season high for her. 16 points for Ali Wilson to go with 7 assists. Four to shoot here for Mansfield. Pulls the trigger. Maley raising up. Brings down board number 14.
The side pick and roll defense, the icing that I talked about earlier, being really disruptive, a great tool from the Bendigo Spirit. There's no solution yet from the Adelaide Lightning.
Turnover created there by Adelaide. And Werung is called for the foul as Cubillo pushed the ball up the floor. So with that foul as well, Bendigo go into the bonus. We'll be seeing Abby Cubillo getting to the free throw line. Really thriving this season with the Adelaide Lightning. Just a little bit more responsibility. Had 4 great years with the UC Caps.
It's good to see her getting a chance to play. So she's obviously been able to sit under the learning tree of, in previous years, the likes of Leilani Mitchell, Kelly Wilson, some great point guard, or arguably 2 of the greatest point guards that we've had in the history of this competition. She's sat under the learning tree of and been able to scrimmage against day in, day out. Good to see her get a chance to put what she's learned into practice.
Maley misses, Whittle rebounds, and McKay just turned her back there at the wrong time. Almost could have stolen it. Not sure if she was trying to dribble or go behind the back there. Cubillo, it might pay off because Whittle lays it in for 2. And a nice little run here from the Adelaide Lightning. Just brought the crowd back into the game, exactly what they needed. And I have to say, it has come since Abby Cubillo has come onto the floor. As we have a look at a timeout here, which is brought to you by Aussie Hoops. The Aussie Hoops program had its biggest year to date, with over 42,000 participants registering to a local Aussie Hoops centre nearby. Aussie Hoops is the perfect introduction to the world of basketball for kids aged 5 to 10 years. So whether your little one is a seasoned basketball fan or simply looking to get out there and give it a go, we have no doubt they'll have an absolute ball of a time. Register now to kickstart your kids' basketball journey with Aussie Hoops. So a nice little run here for the Adelaide Lightning. As I mentioned just beforehand, it looked like it was about to really blow out from a Bendigo perspective. They got out to a 29-point lead. Bendigo still have lead this quarter 16-12, but been a good run by the Lightning on a 6-0 run. Just got a little bit of momentum back into their game, Mark.
Well, especially on that last possession. So I think to beat Bendigo, if you look at the template that the Southside Flyers have used, and perhaps to a lesser extent the Melbourne Boomers, you've got to almost out Bendigo. Yep. Like, you've got to try and get out and run in transition, because they play downhill like really, really quickly, and it becomes challenging to defend in transition back the other way. And then you've got to compete like crazy to try to match that energy and then force them to be accountable on the defensive end. In that very last possession, Adelaide was able to do that. Cubillo gets it, goes at a rate of knots in transition, and then Marina Whittle crashes the O glass and keeps it alive.
So an 8-2 run here for the Lightning. Werra. It's the screen from McKay. She's got 3 to shoot. And then KG's left all by herself. Do they really get away with one there, Adelaide? And make it count at the other end. Here's Simons, impressive young player. Floats it in.
Excellent. Quick transition, cut to basket. They find Simons, and then what you might have missed from the far side, Marina Whittle crashing the O glass again.
10-2 run in favour of Adelaide.
And a half-court trap there by Adelaide, so there's a change defensively.
Kelly Wilson takes on the responsibility herself. McKay with a strong offensive rebound gets the lucky roll. Just need a basket for Bendigo. Whittle, though, can't respond at the other end. In and out.
Not a good shot. You've got to get to the rim, or if that opportunity doesn't present, then you've got to go into your half-court offense. But all defenders were back behind the ball. Everybody's matched up. You know, it's a tough way to play when you're taking contested pull-up two-point shots.
Kelsey Griffin fires from deep. It's another triple. That's her 4th of the night, and she has 12 points to her name. Just continuing to get the job done in G23. She might not be at 100% tonight. Whittle in the corner. Simons catch and shoots. And Whittle brings in another offensive rebound. Reverses it in for 2.
Really good adjustment by her to do this. Be able to compete for extra possessions. Now, the next thing to do is, can you do this earlier in the game before it blows out to a 30-point lead? You know, that's the real mark of a great player, and that's something that Steph Talbot does. You know, so having her missing from the lineup, she drives a lot of energy in that department too.
Nice read there from Brooke at the defensive end of the floor to force a turnover. Below throws it away, but it's still a Adelaide Lightning ball with just under a minute left. It's been a terrific fight back in the back end of this 3rd quarter by Adelaide.
They've shown some real ticker in this last couple of minutes. It's been great to see.
It's mainly their bench players that have been the damage. Whittle's up to 12 points as well for Adelaide. Oh, terrific read there by Froling. Great timing to swat it away. McLean back on the floor in the first minute since the 1st quarter when she had 3,076 seconds. Froling, that was tough, but that was also tough from Marina Whittle. Big, strong defensive rebound. She's got 8 rebounds tonight, Marina Whittle. Cubillo drives hard inside, and foul is called. Spirit in the bonus as well.
I mentioned before, notably from her, I'm so used to seeing her play at tempo all of the time. So she'll catch it, and she's had this propensity to play at full speed immediately and always. Tonight, she's shown me 2 tempos, or 2 different gears to go to. So you saw that there where she went to drive the ball off the pick and roll, hesitated, threw her crossover, and while she went from right to left, she was stationary and then went straight into sprint. And that's what finds her time and space to be able to get to the basket in a straight line.
So she's 5 of 8 from the free throw line tonight, Abby Cubillo. She's got there quite a fair bit. Coming into this game with a 79% free throw shooter. So 1 second differential here between game clock and shot clock, since Bendigo will try and soak as much of it as possible. McLean lobs it in. Wasn't a great pass for Griffin, and then Griffin threw it away. So Adelaide will have 6 seconds to play with here.
Important to stay on task if you're Bendigo. So Ali Wilson needed to drop to the corner there. She would have had an open 3-point shot.
Cubillo kicks it up, lobs it in. Terrific way to finish a nice little third quarter run there for Adelaide. They were down by as much as 29. They've got it back to 21 as we turn for home at three-quarter time. Bendigo 73, Adelaide 52. And as Mark Alabakov mentioned, the Lightning show some ticker, they show some fight and some heart just to make things interesting as we turn for home.
Well, Cubillo's driving the energy, right? So she's got 9 points at the moment, is being a real live wire on the offensive end. She's competing defensively and trying to get pieces of the basketball with hand pressure. She's climbing into the point guard up the floor. She's driving a lot of that. If you're Coach Nat Hurst, I think, you know, while the game itself might be out of reach, you've got to treat almost this last quarter like a micro game within itself and then drive a lot of your identity from that. And if that means that you need to play players off the bench that are, you know, that are able to exemplify what it is that you want from your team, you know, those are really important decisions that you make as a coach to be able to establish who you want this team to be moving forward, and you start to take steps in that direction from now, from this last quarter.
So you mentioned Abby Cubillo has 9 points. That's a season high 9 points as well for Abby, her previous best being 8, and she still has a quarter as well to add to that tally, continuing to have a big say as we look at some of the highlights from the third quarter, which started ominously for Adelaide. They got out to as I mentioned, a 29-point lead, Bendigo, but great fight back from Adelaide. So ultimately, it's a stalemate in the third quarter, 21 points apiece. So it means Bendigo still hold that 21-point lead. They are shooting mightily efficiently tonight, Bendigo. 54% they're going at from the field. Adelaide just seemed to have a little bit more intensity off the glass in that third quarter, Mark. Was that kind of an indicator that showed you that they're starting to get back into this contest?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, and where we talk about qualitatively, like what is it that you want to stand for, and then what does that look like in actions? I probably didn't mention, so while there's been a live wire performance from Abby Cubillo in that quarter alone, I thought there's been an adjustment from Marina Whittle as well. She stepped up her game defensively, but then the pursuit of the possession play, like you're mentioning, so she's up to 5 offensive rebounds, and she's, you know, in the vein of the four-headed monster that I talked about from Bendigo, you know, in a very complimentary way, you know, very affectionately. They're a terrific set of basketballers, but she's in the same vein. She's hard to box out. She's a tall athlete. She's powerful. She's physically strong. You know, so even if you're of like size, you know, can you muscle to try and keep her away from getting a fingertips to the basketball?
Final quarter underway from Adelaide. Bendigo 73, leading the Lightning 52. Can Adelaide continue that momentum they generated late in that third quarter into the fourth term? Here's Griffin backing down on Whittle. Great defense from Whittle, but even better offense from Kelsey Griffin. Too tough, too good. Brooke lobs it in for Cubillo. Pass was right there. Just the butterfingers from Whittle. It goes out of bounds.
Unlucky, and that's a great cut by Cubillo, great floor spacing by Marina Whittle, and the right basketball play in the context.
Whittle has 12 points and 8 rebounds. As Mark mentioned, 5 of them offensive. Leading point scorer for Adelaide tonight. Ali Wilson all by herself in the corner. And then Annalie Maley brings down another rebound. Tries to whip it away. Jump ball is called. She wanted a foul, Annalie Maley. And possession arrow is with Adelaide Lightning.
It's probably lucky not to get called for 3 seconds in the key there.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Live to fight another day. Adelaide Lightning. A monster performance off the glass from Maley. That's the crowd in the background chanting for Abby Cubillo. They're loving what she's bringing to the floor tonight. Rightly so. Mansfield for Brooke. Whittle again seeing some good minutes tonight. Back inside for Brooke. Maley tried to rip it away, and then he's called for the foul just to add to that frustration of Annalise.
And probably unlucky, because I thought the play at the ball looked pretty legal, at least within the possession. We'll probably get a better look here. Yeah, that's a foul. But I think Chelsea Brooks put the ball in harm's way. So she's pivoted and she's facing Maley with the ball right there in front of her. You give her the opportunity to make a play for it. So in a lot of ways, you've been, lucky and bailed out by the foul. She's got to do a better job as a post player to keep her body between the ball and the defender to keep it safe.
Good on the second attempt. Chelsea Brooke. Turnover. And Cabillo keeps it in control. Well played. Abby Cabillo, after the sloppy pass towards her. Whittle goes to work. Froling. Hoping for the cut there from Brooke, but mainly just wanted the ball more than anyone else.
Right idea, though. Right idea. Drive and kick, and then you've got Brooke circling underneath the basket out of the line of the dribble penetration from Whittle.
Here's Kelly Wilson. Out wide for Griffin, who's been feeling it from three-point land tonight. Brooke, though, brings down the defensive rebound. Good box out there from Adelaide to disallow Maley from getting another offensive rebound.
Good pick-up. Myers found the same thing. Sam Simons did a terrific job.
Ali Wilson, though, with the turnover, and then it's too quick for Brooke. And continues her strong night. She's got 18 points and 8 assists. Here's Cabillo. Some action here from Mansfield. Brooke set the screen here. Defensively, they've been on song tonight, though, Bendigo. Barely made too many mistakes on defense tonight. Forced the ball out of bounds.
Now, if you're Lauren Mansfield, you've got to stay down and use your pivot or your drop step to get past the feet of Ali Wilson, to pass over the top of the taller defender, which is a common thing that you see in basketball of all levels, even juniors. You can't pass over people that are taller than you. You put the ball at risk and being in harm's way. Far better to stay down, be a wide pivoter, and find yourself an angle by using your feet.
Ali Wilson not too pleased with the call. Bendigo would rightly considered for most of the first part of the season one of the best defensive teams in the competition. That's slipped a little bit. Southside have become the #1 defensive team in the comp in recent weeks, but this has been a strong defensive performance so far tonight from the Spirit. Badish and Borlase combined. Only 4 to shoot here for Izzy Borlase. Can she make something happen? She travelled. Again, excellent discipline on defense from Bendigo. .4 lead for Bendigo with 7.5 to play in the fourth quarter. Hope you're enjoying the call on 9 now, wherever you're watching around the country. Griffin lobbing it in for Froling. Kicks it back out for Maley, who's got 5 to shoot. And Adelaide read that well. 3 or 4 players rushed to Froling there to force the turnover off the lob pass. Badish for Cabillo. Takes on Bendigo. And Mansfield hits the triple. Assist for Abby.
That's a product of driving the score. So when you catch it and you go, you're prepared to go off the bounce. You want to get your feet in the paint or somewhere around that charge zone.
Foul called before Maley put up that shot, so that is the...
But back to Cabillo, so it's the straight line drives, it's the quick acceleration, and then if you can try and get your toes around that charge semicircle, the defense has to react. You've either got to lay up or it's going to force somebody to come and play you. You've got 2 defenders on the ball at that point, and then you pass in the direction of the help and you can keep it moving to find the open shooter.
Second foul on the Lightning. That was Badish. It's called for the foul on that occasion. 2 team fouls also for Bendigo. So Badish, that's her 4th personal foul. She is staying out there for the moment. Again, having a good look at their bench with Lauren Mansfield. Staying out there for Adelaide. Here's Werung. Ali Wilson. Werung has 6 to shoot. Tough shot, and Griffin can't keep it alive. Mansfield picks it out for Simons, who's a good 3-point shooter. Can't get that one to go, though.
Would have liked to seen her sprint ahead a whole lot quicker. I think she pulled up her cut a whole lot earlier, and it kept Maley in the road of Lauren Mansfield.
Oh, Griffin earns a trip to the free throw line here. Could be a basketball game without Kelsey Griffin on the deck at some stage. timeout is called at the Adelaide Arena, with Bendigo leading 77-56. This timeout is brought to you by DIY Blinds, to fit out your home with Australian-made designer quality window furnishings at the best prices. Head to DIYblinds.com.au. This second half from Adelaide has really given the fans, they'll go home tonight with their glass somewhat filled up, just with the fight and the determination that they've shown in the second half at Adelaide.
Yeah, and I think if you're Coach Nat Hurst here in this timeout, you're probably best served to catch them doing things right. So you can have a stern message perhaps out of a timeout in that first half, or out of the halftime break, where you can really drive home your point and ask for the types of standards and identity that you want from the team, and ask for a response. But now that you're starting to get that, catch them doing things right, make Cubillo known and her effort, and even Marina Whittle's effort, and I think even the post defense in the past couple of possessions from Ella Badish competing for position on the floor. Point to those things as being hallmarks of what you're asking for and praise them for it. What gets rewarded gets repeated.
So just a reminder, no Steph Talbot tonight, wasn't listed to play. Jacinta Munro fouled out in the third quarter with the 5 fouls, played less than 10 minutes tonight. Jacinta Munro put Adelaide really on the back foot. And then Borlays and Badish still out there for Adelaide. They both have 4 fouls to their name. Griffin at the line. Took a while for her to get her scoring underway, but she's, as she often does, just worked her way into the game so well, Kelsey Griffin. She has 15 points so far tonight, and that's come off Simons' hands, so they've got a fresh 14 seconds to work with here, Bendigo. But with Werrung for the Spirit, Griffin is knocked away there from Ali Wilson, from Maley, and Maley can't believe that has been called against her there. She can't believe that that is out of bounds and will be going the way of the Adelaide Lightning. The Spirit holding a 78-56 lead here as Mansfield goes to work. Just off Maley's hands this time. It's definitely out of bounds off her. Just a little flabbergasted by the call a little earlier.
It looks like Bendigo's gone to a 2-3 zone defense.
Denied by Froling as Borlays trying to put that up. It's a great block from Alicia Froling. She's got 3 blocks tonight. Froling at the other end couldn't quite get it to go. Foul is called as Annalene Maley, in fact, its ball is back with the Adelaide Lightning. They still continue to chip away the Lightning. They're going to be hard to crawl back 22 points in 5.5 minutes, but the fight they are showing continues to impress.
It'll be interesting to see if the Bendigo Spirit stick with the 2-3 zone defense, which it looks like they have been, this extended Syracuse 2-3 zone for the basketball heads out there. Playing quite high with that back line.
Mansfield misfires. She's had a lot of looks from three-point land tonight. Lauren Mansfield, she's 2 of 8 from three-point territory. Maley lobs it in for Griffin. She was always scoring that. Oh, no. A whistle on the play. Griffin can't believe it.
A bit unlucky, the Spirit. I think that they've been on the wrong end of a couple of 50-50 calls here in the last couple of minutes.
Timeout is called by the Adelaide Lightning with 5 minutes and 3 seconds remaining. Still down by 22 points, but it was 29 points midway through that third quarter, and they went on a 10-2 run, Adelaide, and they want to work themselves. Essentially break even with Bendigo since then. It was a 21-21 third quarter, and so far Bendigo just the 5 points, Adelaide the 4 points themselves. No Steph Talbot, no Jacinta Munro. The minutes have been pretty evenly spread right across. Marina Willis had the 23 off the bench. 15.5 for Sam Simons. Abby Cubillo's had the 15. Mansfield barely had a rest as well. Brooks had the 27. So they've really been able to give some minutes to some players that normally wouldn't be racking up that 15 minutes plus mark.
Yeah, and they've done a great job of competing here in this second half, so there's still 5 minutes to go within this quarter. They're a point down within the quarter. They're losing at 5-4, but there's a real opportunity for them to be able to try and get a small win, at least, you know, within this fourth, that they can create some momentum and sort of re-identify themselves with, or reacclimate themselves, sorry, with the habits that they want as far as disruption and being able to be competitive and playing to win. They can try and win this fourth quarter and then roll that through to the next contest that they have. You know, if you're Coach Nat Hurst, you're probably playing the people, again, that exemplify that. I don't think that it's a time in the game to be nice and just give minutes out to anybody. I think that you can reward the people who have come in and had a response and been able to play the brand of basketball that Adelaide want to play.
Naby Cabillo has kind of exemplified that. He sparked in that third quarter. She's out on the floor now. Here's Badish trying to find Borlays. Didn't quite come off. Oh, Griffin hits the floor there. Got a little, I think, a little shove from Borlays. It was accidental. Griffin straight back to her feet, though. That might just ignite the ball, though. Here's Ali Wilson. It's the screen from Froling. Driving along the baseline. Nice pass inside for Froling, who goes to work with the left hand. Points won't count because she travelled.
Outstanding pass by Ali Wilson, though.
Bendigo frustrated there. Alicia Froling argues her case. Did a pretty good night at the office. So you have a look on replay. Did you have a point mark?
I think it was a travel.
So stepped out of bounds there, the Lightning. They'll get the ball back. Bendigo with 4 minutes 22 on the clock.
But I will say she was exactly where she needed to be within the offense. She did a really good job of circling and getting to a dunker spot.
Having a seat now for Froling with Meg McKay back on the floor. Here's Werung. 6 to shoot now for Werung. Has to make something happen. Wilson has to put it up now, Ali Wilson. Puts it up and almost banked in off the glass. And Griffin gives them a fresh 14 seconds, Bendigo.
And smart by Griffin to kick the ball out and now force Adelaide to have to defend a whole nother possession.
Maley lobs it in for McKay. Beautiful pass, and McKay gets the lucky roll as well. Bendigo go past the 80-point mark. As Borlays takes a seat. Again, Annalie Maley showing why she's just as good bringing teammates into the game.
It's a great use of a fend-off arm from Megan McKay to be able to hold the defender's contesting hand out of the road.
Lovely find from Naby Cabillo. She feeds Whittle, who takes her tally to 14 points tonight. Griffin for Werung. Inside for McKay, who hooks it in for another 2.
That's tough. Really strong finish by McKay.
Joined out at the office as well for Meg McKay. That's 17 points now for her as the Lightning get one back at the other end. Sam Simons involved. It's the player that shows a real impressive sign or two every game, Sam Simons, when she gets an opportunity. Griffin trying to bring a teammate into the game here. 10 to shoot for Annalie Maley. Raising up and will go to the line and shoot a couple. Saw in a timeout before mark at Bendigo. Kelsey Griffin really passionate and instructing her teammates. When she's out the floor as well, she's always giving out instructions and direction. Is it kind of like having a second head coach out on the floor sometimes with Kelsey Griffin?
Absolutely, and I think, you know, culturally, she drives a lot of their energy, their competitiveness. She does what I alluded to earlier with Adelaide. She catches her teammates doing things right and praises the habits that she wants from them in order to be competitive. You could also argue that in her own quiet way, Kelly Wilson does the same thing. So to have that dynamic duo that have been in the trenches together and won together, and that can be that kind of presence around the group, it's worth its weight in gold.
Absolute luxury for for Bendigo to have those two players of that quality out there. Cubillo misses the three-pointer, but comes back in and gets the offensive rebound, then gives away the offensive foul. Kind of typifying her attitude tonight and aggression at the ball. Maybe Cubillo is called for her first personal foul of the night. 24-point lead for Bendigo as we tick towards the final 2 minutes of this contest. Werung, mid-range two drops. She takes her tally to 5 points tonight. A Bendigo perspective as well, Mark. It's been a tough start to 2023. A massive loss to the Southside Flyers. They conceded 118 points that night. Then went down to the Melbourne Boomers. Lost to the Canberra Capitals as well. You know, 3 tough losses in a row. So this would do wonders, you'd think, for their confidence going forward. Absolutely, and I think it all stems from their competitiveness on the defensive end, and then their adherence to being able to play quickly and then competitively in the offensive side of things. So it's the transition scores and then the competitiveness on the O glass. But like I mentioned, they're really tough to play against when they've got those two things as hallmarks of what they do, because it exhausts you over 4 quarters, or out of the likes of Froling, Maley, Griffin, McKay, somebody gets a series of really, really key catches like that one there, or extra possessions that just wears you down. Their momentum building plays for the Spirit when they get an O board and a putback and maybe an and one. It kills the spirit sometimes, as in the spirit within you when you're playing against them, and you get that kind of thing happen. Abby Cubillo again involved. She drops a field goal, continuing her impressive second half performance. Adelaide still within that 22-point margin. They just haven't been able to crack into that 20 or less. They really have broken even with Bendigo since midway through the third quarter. Klein back on the floor. McKay for Werung. Driving on the baseline. Almost caught there by McKay. Hits the floor. Just keeps it alive. They're going to run out of time. Shot clock violation against the Spirit. Another great defensive set from the Lightning. And also I want to put the spotlight on the power of work that Megan McKay does when she comes in on the floor. Watch her come in. She'll run down the floor and try and outrun her matchup. She'll seal and hold her seal while the ball changes sides of the floor. She'll sprint out and set you an on-ball screen and try and create you an advantage. She'll roll to the basket to provide you a target. And she'll come out and do that multiple times within a possession and then be in there to contest the O glass. She's ever working, and it doesn't always get the amount of recognition nationally perhaps, for the amount of work that she does and how efficient she can be at it. She's had a big night, certainly on the stat sheet tonight. She's had the 17 points tonight. Meg McKay to go with the 3 rebounds. It's 17 points, 8 of 8 shooting tonight. Perfect shooting from Meg McKay. Jasmine Fijo's at the line, getting some late minutes here for the Adelaide Lightning. And it's good on both. Final minute of this one from Adelaide. Kelly Wilson still out there. Scored tonight, Kelly Wilson, but had the 7 assists, and as Mark mentioned, showed invaluable leadership right throughout. Werung for McKay for Kelly Wilson. Surely she puts one up now. No, she brings a teammate into the game. So that's off target. Cubillo kicking it out for Whittle, who sets, shoots, and scores. Big night for Marina Whittle. Coming off the bench, she's got the 18 and 9. McLean in the corner. All oxygen. Fijo now with an opportunity to drive it inside. Kicks it out for Coleman, who's also having some late minutes. Can't hit the scoreboard. Kelly Wilson will bring this into the front court and run down the clock on what has been a pretty satisfying night for the Bendigo Spirit. It's been a tough start for 2023 to them, but they get one against the grain And certainly an impressive first half performance set up. And in the end, a pretty emphatic 86-68 victory over the Adelaide Lightning on their home floor. And importantly, that's a 3-0 sweep from Bendigo over the Adelaide Lightning in this Cygnett WNBL 2022-23 season. Mark Ella back off. A pretty sweet trip home back to Victoria for the Bendigo Spirit.
It really would, and in establishing their style of play, right? So I've spoken all broadcast about the competitiveness on the O-Glass. They get 15 for the game. There's 3 to Froling, there's 4 to Maley, there's 4 to KG, there's 2 to Megan McKay. That's 50 points in the paint that they're able to put together as a team. 15 of those are second chance points. So while they're able to play quick in transition, so there was 10 points off turnovers and 13 fast break points, they create the second chance opportunity by competing on the O-Glass and just simply wear you down if you don't have like-for-like competitiveness, physicality, and size.
We're watching some highlights tonight from Ali Wilson, who had the 18 points and 8 assists. I think you mentioned a couple of times throughout the course. She's probably playing arguably the best basketball of her career so far. Is it a result of her, with so many stars around her as well, she's just thriving, not having that extra responsibility on her?
To a point, yes. I mean, I think she's a great player within her own right, and I've been lucky enough to encounter her at the Townsville Fire when she was coming out of the AIS, and then we crossed paths with the Sydney Uniflames at that point in time. So I've been able to intersect her career and see her at different points. She's absolutely playing the best basketball that I've ever seen her play. Her decision-making has been outstanding. Her poise within the offensive side of things. She's got the ability to get to the basket. She's really explosive, especially going to her left hand, but then that three-point shot, she's got range on it and she's got consistency on it, and she just continues to compete with effort stuff, which is a new element to her game. Offensive rebounds and then doing defensive jobs as well on marquee perimeter plays within the competition as well.
Yeah, some of the key numbers from tonight as well. Adelaide, one of the a team that puts up a lot of three-point attempts. They did tonight as well. They put up 24, but just a 17% they went from three-point territory, and Bendigo went at 50% from the field tonight, and a pretty complete performance to keep Adelaide to 68 points. A pretty good effort as well. One game left in the Cygnett WNBL round 10. It will be Townsville going up tomorrow. Who are they playing in tomorrow, Mark?
Sydney.
Sydney, that's right. That'll be a terrific game as well. You'll be sticking around for that game as well tomorrow. Been great to work with you across both games tonight. Mark Alabakoff, on behalf of him and the entire hard-working team, this is Ben Waterworth signing off from the Adelaide Arena, where Bendigo had a statement away from their home floor and had a terrific win over the Adelaide Lightning, 86-68. Good night.